Good morning. Angela's the only one here. Okay, there's some other people coming. Ooh, gotta get my Skittles. Have you guys tried these giant Skittles? I'm obsessed. They're so good. Hi, George. So yeah, I just ate a couple before before coming on here to chat. They're so delicious. Okay. Hi. Hi. All right, we're going to get started right into it today. We're going to do this little tree right here. And the reason we're going to do it first is because out of all of them, it's the one that uses the most skill, if you know what I mean. So it is the Fishbone Stitch. And what you're going to do is overlap each side so it makes like a little braid down the middle. So it almost looks like a hair braid. So they get all crisscrossed. But I do mine a little bit different than some people. So that's why you have to put on your concentration caps. That sounds horrible. Get all your thinking, yeah? So what I like to do is I like to make a line down the middle. If you can. Oh, this is the skinny one. Hopefully you can still see. Okay, and then I like to do a line on either side of this as well. So we're just aiming for the other side of the line. Not real thick. Sorry, not real wide or anything like that. Just. So you've got the triangle, and you've also got 3 lines, one down the middle and one on either side. Now, from here forward, you have to make some decisions yourself. So the first decision is how long do you want the tip here to be? Now you can make it's just a straight stitch. So how long do you want the straight stitch? Mine goes to about there. Yeah. And then the other 2 ones go in the same hole as that one. So the first 3 stitches all go in the same hole. Maybe even the first 5 stitches. We'll see when we get to it. But you can make this really short and start your crisscross pattern up here more. Or you can make it even longer than this and only have the crisscross pattern be at the bottom. So this is where you need to kind of decide. All the steps are the same. It's just this first bit is a little bit different. So I'm going to make mine a little bit shorter than that so you can have a look at what that would look like. So we're going to go up towards the tip. I'll explain all the things, I promise. Hi, Jamie T. Courtney. Oh, lots of people here today. So the first one I did was about down to here. So I'm going to make it a little bit shorter so you can see what that looks like. So you've got 1 straight stitch like this, and we're going to go on the right and the left of it. So this is where you need to follow the shape on the outside because that's where your stitches are going to be showing. So through the same hole on the right and on the left, or left and the right, doesn't matter which one that you like to start with first. I do left then right, but you can do it the other way if you'd like. Okay, so after you've filled up the very tip, this is when we're going to start, instead of going down the middle of the same hole, we're going to actually cross over this line and put it on the line on the other side. So we're going to go to the left. Again, trying to keep the same shape because it is a skinny tree. And you're going to cross it over so that you land on this line. Now, if you do it way up here, meaning if you insert your needle way at the top, it's going to make a cross like this. Really, really severe angle. If you put it way down here, like that, then your crisscrossing isn't going to happen till down here. So you kind of want to not make such a severe angle over, but then also not down either. So this is where it kind of comes into, you have to make some decisions on your own. I'm going to do it like here and see what that looks like. Yeah? So I've got that one. Then I'm going to come up at the top here and do the exact same thing. on this side and cross over the line. And what I'm looking to do is make my next stitch in line with this one, but on that line. Yeah, so almost like if you had a straight line here. That's kind of where you know, or how you know where to put your next stitch. So this is what we've got so far. 5 stitches, 1 down the middle, the next 2 go in the same hole, and then the next 2 are crossed. So what do you think we're gonna do next? The exact same thing. We're just gonna keep crossing them all the way down. So we go up on the left, and you wanna just move down a little bit. So you don't want them to be so smashed together, but you also don't want the fabric to be seen between the stitches either. So we'll come up again, and you want that same angle. So this is kind of where it gets a little bit easier, and you don't have to go all the way over to the other outside edge. We're just going on that line, and this is what helps. This is what helps me to, one, save thread, because some people will go the full length every time of the tree. So by the time you get to the very end, you're going to be making big X's over the whole length of the tree, whereas I just go over the middle, and it just makes it a little bit humped in the middle. Not so much, you know? It's not really thick. So let's go back over here. And this is the fishbone stitch. So it looks like a fishbone. And then we just keep going. So when you go down, it'll be on the line. When you come up, it will be on the outside line. Oop. So this is where you kind of have to pay a little bit more attention to the outside edge, because we're not doing an outline or anything like that for the outside edge. So the outside edge is going to just be how the tip is, like that. If you get a little bit astray with your crosses, it's okay. You know, the more messed up it looks, the more handmade it looks. So if anyone's like, wow, that looks interesting, you can be like, yeah, I made it. That's why it does. That's why it looks so interesting. It's okay. I just want to eat more Skittles, but I hate the sound of like chewing and stuff, like drinking and chewing when people do it on the camera. So I will wait until the very end. Love from South Africa. Love to you right back. One of my friends, Laura, she's from South Africa. Now when we get to the very, very bottom, you can see where this is going, because this right here makes a V. Yeah, but actually we have a straight line on the bottom. So on the bottom, you will have to do extra stitches that only go on each side. Extra little straight stitches that to fill up that triangle of space. Having such a weird day about 2 or 3 times a year. I don't know what is the deal, but I wake up absolutely crying. I have a really crazy dream. I always remember the dream, but I always wake up crying, and this morning I did. The dream is too sad. I cannot tell you what it is. But yeah, so that at least that's done for a while. I thought I was excited because I finished all my orders. I actually got 2 more last night that are not supposed to ship until January, but I'm just going to fill them and ship them as a little Christmas present. And I'm going to send out a couple little presents as well. But yeah, does anyone else just wake up crying in the morning, or am I the one? Do I just need therapy or something? Oh, but it always throws me off a little bit. So you can see, that's a bit too close. You can see that the line that we made at the beginning is now replaced with the crisscross line. Good morning. Jessie was in a playful mood this morning. She played with her peg, with her honky peg that doesn't honk anymore. And then she ate all her food and then she went back to bed. So I was like, okay, bye. Good night. Jamie T says, oh no, I used to when I had crazy dreams that scared or upset me, but I genuinely have insane dreams every single night now that it's kind of the norm for me. Yeah, like I always dream about crazy, crazy stuff. And I always remember like a lot of them, but not all of them. But last night's was like over the top. Maybe because I finished all my orders. So I was like, yes, I'm done. And my brain was like, let's think about all the things you don't want to think about. That'll be fun. Holly says, me too. Like I always have like the weirdest dreams. Like the other day I was telling my friend Tash that it was like a movie or something. Like it could have been a movie that I was in. Like I've never seen this film before, but like the way that the dream played out, it would make a really great film. Okay, so now we're at the bottom, real quick before I read the messages. Okay, so now we're at the bottom and we've finished the crossing for the fishbone stitch, but we still have these little triangles. So you can just fill them in with straight stitches. They don't have to overlap there because this will give the illusion that it's kind of like still going. So we'll put that one there and then we'll just tuck these in right into the corner. So this is where you have to pay a little bit more attention with your stitches because you want it to be a nice point on each side. And like I said, we're not going to outline it or anything. So, I mean, if you want to, you can. But for this one, I wasn't planning on outlining it. There's a knot back there. I can feel it. Okay, Ruth says, I shout or scream out about once a week. Oh, that must be really scary. Do you remember, like, the dreams do you remember what the dreams were about? Susie says, I have weird dreams too. Last night in a skip and someone poured rotten food over me. Oh no. Veronica says, hubby can have a conversation with me when I'm sleeping sometimes. Oh, wow. Lots of sleep talkers. David, the other night, he just said, he woke me up saying, help. Like just one word. In the morning, I said, I think we need to have a talk. And he goes, oh my God, what? What happened? I was like, you're asking for help in your dreams, so are you okay? Oh, Susie, yeah. Mine was really sad about dogs, so that's why I don't want to tell you, because I'll start crying again. Okay, so this is what the back looks like. Yeah, so the middle is open since we only went over to the lines that we made. Oh, I'm trying not to nudge the camera, give you guys whiplash. Yeah, dreams are so interesting. Ruth says, yes, sometimes I can remember my hubby gets a real fright. Oh, I bet. I just find it so, dreams are just so interesting. Someone was like, you need to get a dream journal, but I think I have to voice note it because I tend to like forget about the details like really easily. Okay, the next one is the green color, the dark one, but not the blue-green. Yeah, so let me show you them together again. This one. not that one. This one. And we're gonna do this little guy over here. This one's super easy, it's just straight stitches. And then one big long brown stitch down the middle. So we're going to, let's do a knot and get it to the end. So what we're gonna do is just straight stitches all on one side and then straight stitches all on the other side. They're all gonna go down in the point like this. And then we'll do one big long brown stitch down the middle. Miriam says, not scary, but I was already awake and my husband just sighed in his sleep. Don't you always wonder what people are thinking about? Like, what's made you do that? And Susie says, I sleep talk too. Mostly talk about elephants, tomato soup, and cabbages. You have a food theme. So you can go like this, up one side and down the other, or you can do the other one right at the same time, which is probably what I'm gonna do. Yeah, and we'll go straight up like this. But like my dreams are never about some stuff that's real. It's always about stuff that's like made up. Like some people dream about their situations that they're in or like things that they're afraid of in real life or something like that, you know? But like mine kind of combine real places I've been. So like my dream last night took place in Italy. And there's a piazza there that's it's quite famous, but I can't remember what it is. And there's a bunch of steps on the one side. And you have to walk up all the steps. And then at the very top of it, there's a park. And you can look over the top of the piazza. I've actually got photos of it that I could go and like location check it. And then I'll be able to say where it was. But it was there. Just so weird. Like, I could talk about it for ages, I swear. So obviously, as you go up the tree, the stitches will get smaller. I think I can fit one more little set at the top. They're so cute. You'll also notice that the more you use your thread, the more like untangled it gets, like untwisted. And sometimes one or two little strands will poke out. Because remember, we're using 6 strands for the whole pattern. Because they're just lines, it's just line work really. It just worked out to be better. What is happening back here? There we go. I wonder what is that? I can hear the beeping. So there's one done. We just got to put the brown line in, and then we'll go straight up to the next one with the brown, and we'll probably do the next one too with the brown, because all 3 of these are just straight stitches. It's an easy one. Yeah? I need to get the survey up because I haven't done that yet. I know, bad teacher. I need to do the survey, and I need to upload the video from yesterday onto YouTube, because I ended up walking to Sainsbury's, which is about, I don't know, a mile away, half a mile away, with my neighbor, because she just got out of quarantine. So we ran up there and got some little gifts for David, little chocolates and stuff. I'm not going to tell you what I got him. That's a secret. And then we walked to Aldi because it's right next door. Then I was very tempted by Greg's because I haven't had one of those in a really long time. Yeah, we can do this one. So we'll go straight up here. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I want to do the spokes first, like I did with the tree, so that the middle line will go over the top. Come back out. If you know the feather stitch, that would be really nice here too. So we're gonna do all the little spokes first, all the little branches. I'm just gonna put it down a little bit so you can see better. Dun, 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 dun. So the trick here is to make them all on the line so that when you put the line over, the stitch over, it covers up all of the stitch holes. So if you do one that's too short, it's not gonna look like the branch is coming from the trunk of the tree. It's gonna look like it's kind of stuck out in the middle somewhere. I didn't do a good job tracing this. It's a little bit light. But you know what? We're almost done. We've only been stitching for 22 minutes. We've already done 2 trees, and we'll probably finish the whole thing today, actually. I know I said 3 days, but it might just be the 2. It's a really easy pattern to stitch up. Nice and quick. Okay. Let's make this go up a little bit farther. What are they doing? I hear like machines and stuff. So there you go. Ugh, why? Yeah, so that one right there could have gone a little bit closer, couldn't it? And then if you wanted to, you can go straight over here to this one and do this straight stitch down the middle, since we still have the brown out and it's just 1 stitch. And I'll put it back in the holder. I forget who it was ages ago, like years ago, and they kept doing little stitch-along things, but they didn't use a holder, and they kept moving the thing around, and it was making me so sick. And every time that I do like any kind of stitching, I'm always like, put it back in the holder, put it back in the holder, because I'm always afraid that you guys are going to be like, Tori, I'm nauseous. It was so long ago, though. It wasn't on Instagram. It was something I was watching on YouTube. Oh, wow. I missed a bunch. Holly says, I had one the other day where I was with my family in Japan and bumped into Ben Stiller and was comparing his mustache to my brother's. Oh, that's fun. I was like, to be honest, I think my brother's is better, but can we take a photo anyway? Sarah's here. Susie says, festive bake. Probably in response to my Greg's, because we did not get Greg's, and I was really disappointed when I got home. But I got a mac and cheese from there anyway, so from Sainsbury's. Okay, back in business. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to use out of these 2 colors. Remember I said there's like a yellowy one, which is the one we used first, and then there's a light one and a dark one. We're going to use this darker one. Thank you. Someone said I love this fabric. This is a like speckled linen. So it actually has speckles, like dark and light speckles in it, a natural colored linen. I really like it too. I've just been dying to use it for something. Okay, so with this one, we're just doing the outline of the tree. So 3 straight stitches. But for this one, we're gonna slide our needle underneath the tree trunk so it looks like the tree trunk is on top of the stitch. And I cut extra so that I could use it for the other half of the top tree. because that one's going to be a satin stitch tree. Hi from Greece. I wish I was in Greece. I bet you it's so nice. There we go. So we've got another tree finished. And then we're back to the dark green, but this one is the blue green. So save that piece for later, and we'll get that blue-green color back. There we go. And a knot on the end. And this one, again, it's just straight stitches. So there's lots and lots and lots you can do with just a straight stitch. I know there's some people who are like, I don't know so many stitches and I don't think I can do it. Like, you can, I promise you. You don't need to know loads to be able to make something that's amazing for, you know, your family or for a gift or even just for yourself. So this is literally just straight stitch and then an X as a straight stitch. So one this way and one this way. Now, when I made the pattern, I drew the triangle, and then I did the lines and the X's, etc. Yeah. And then I erased the triangle. So it's still going to make a tree shape, you know? So just be a little bit like conscious of that whilst you're doing these, because sometimes when we trace, they can get a little bit, like some straight stitches can go longer than the triangle of the tree, if that makes sense. So you might have to just be aware, okay? Stay alert. For those of you who are not in England, that's the thing that they say. Stay alert. And I think I put 2 straight lines at the top and I just want one. So that's something that you can have a think about as well. Like if you made this really, really tall, then you could do two lines or even another X if you wanted. Ooh, close call there. Okay, I've got a couple questions whilst I'm doing the knot. Okay. Charles Lamb, really excited to have a go at this. Going to wait until I have some time tonight and catch up. We'll have to have a go at drawing freehand though, as I don't have a printer. If you have a computer or if you have an iPad, you can trace your pattern from there. I highly suggest watching one of the Stitch Along prep videos, and this will actually answer the question at the bottom as well, which is what pen do you use for tracing? So in the Stitch Along prep videos, you can go to YouTube and search the Barmy Fox and then Stitch Along prep, any of them. Where's that other one? There we go. Real quick before I forget. So go to YouTube, search for the Barmy Fox, or you can go to my bio and there's a link and click the link and it will take you straight to there. And it will show you how to use your iPad or your computer screen or your laptop screen to trace onto your hoop. And then if you keep watching, I go over all of the different pens you can use. Everything from a pencil to a water-soluble pen to a heat erasable pen, everywhere. Where's the pattern, Tori? I think I'm looking in the wrong place. It's in the VIP group. I've just seen that you've requested to be in there. So I have to approve you because it's a private group. So anything that you share in there, you can't like tag a mate that's not in the group, if that makes any sense. So everything's like really private, just because some people want to share their work or they want to share a story or whatever. And I thought it would be nice to have a nice little private group where people can share their stuff. Which is not a little group anymore. I think there's over 1,000 people in there. So like, I'm blown away, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm just going over this so you can see it a little bit better, because again, on the bottom and the sides, we're not going to outline. It's just going to be the stitches. So, will do. I'm going to teach her upper elementary basic stitches. I usually use a pencil. Of course, you can use a pencil. Obviously, there's pros and cons to using a pencil. As opposed to something else, other things, you know, that mainly you can't erase it. So if you make a mistake, you're kind of SOL, you know. Okay, so what we're going to do for this one is use the two colors. They are different. They look a little bit the same in the light. They're basically the same color. This one's a touch darker. This one's a touch lighter. Good morning, Meg. So yeah, on one side, we're going to use the darker one. On the other side, we're going to use the lighter one. And we're going to do just a nice satin stitch. Now, some people really, really hate the satin stitch because all they are straight stitches that are right next to each other. And they're all parallel, which means that they'll never cross, ever. And they go straight down next to each other. Now, some people really love the look of this. And other people absolutely hate it. So I'm going to show you how to do it, and then you can decide for yourself. We only have the two left. We've got 30 minutes left, so I feel like we can do it. It really doesn't take that long. So I'm going to go up right to the left of the middle line. Let me make this tighter, and I'll move it down a bit because it's quite tall on the video, or high up on the video. There we go. Okay, pull it through. And we're going to the left of it because we're going to put a brown thread right down the middle. So I want to have the point be brown, but obviously you could do it any way that you'd like. And what I like to do is what you saw me do earlier, is make these guidelines. You can't see them so well, but I like to make these guidelines straight down so I know where to put my stitches. The other thing you can do is lay your thread down like this and find where you need to put your needle and put your needle there. Yeah. So as you lay it down, that's exactly where it needs to go. So you can kind of plan out your stitches that way. So there's lots of different ways that people do this. Some people take all 6 strands and they take every single strand out of the 6 strands and then put them all back together to make 6. And some people say that that makes it lay really nicely onto your fabric. Some people, so this is a little bit too far away. You can almost see that there's fabric in the middle, but that's okay. I'm going to carry on. If I have to add one later, then I can. If I really don't like it. Some people do not like all 6 strands and they prefer 3 or 4 or 2, but honestly, it just depends on how thick of a line that you want and how smooth you'd like your piece to be. If you want this to be super, super smooth, you can use 1 or 2 strands, but because we're just doing a nice bold line for this, we're doing all 6. But again, if you like Meg's just said, I never get on with 6 strands. I either use 2 or 3. Of course you can. If you know that's what you like, then just use that. There's also the thread saver method. So if you're running out of thread, then you can do it that way. It's probably not really applicable for this because it's just such a small area. But all we're looking for is your needle to go up on this side, to go down on this side, and for them to be nice and smooth and next to each other. So yeah, with 6 strands, you will see each stitch. You can totally see they look like little bars. So if that's not for you, then you can try 2 strands, 3 strands, 4 strands, and you can get, really get to see what you like the best. And that's kind of why I like the other stitch alongs, because you can experiment with lots of different numbers of strands, all in the same piece. So you can see what 6 strands look like, what 4 strands look like, what 2 strands look like, and then decide for yourself. So for mine, it's exactly the same on the front and the back, because we've gone up on this side, we've gone down on this side. So you've got the same image on the front and back. So let's use the other color. I don't think I have any of that one actually. Only a little tiny piece. Because I used it for the weaving, didn't I? So I've got the other color, it's just a little bit lighter. And I'll move it so you can see it again. Got my sweater on, I'm just too hot. Okay, so we're doing the exact same thing on this side as we are on that side. Why does this thread look thinner? I do love the way Satin Stitch looks though. Some people think it's such a ball ache because you really do have to get them parallel and straight. I mean, if you don't, then it's obviously fine. No one's gonna come at you, you know? You can always add more stitches on top as well if some are looking a little bit like they've had a night out after lockdown. But I really like the grid lines because I feel like it really helps. So you know where your next stitch needs to be. Heart eyes, thank you. So we really didn't use lots of stitches for this. But I think it looks nice anyways. So this is where the heat erasable pen is super nice because obviously I've not gone to the edge and there's a black line that's gone around. So I can pop on over afterwards and do the blow dryer. You can also use an iron, but I'm not a big fan of the iron. Sometimes it makes your threads look shiny, like almost like they're melted, but they're not melted because it's cotton. But it almost puts like a sheen on them. So I like to, if I do use an iron, I like to put a cloth over top. Just a clean piece of cotton that I've saved. There we go. That'll do. So again, the front and the back are exactly the same because we did not use the thread saver method. Okay, and let's get our brown for one brown down the middle, and then we can pop right on over to the next tree and do the brown down the middle of that one as well. Can't believe we're almost finished, but we do still, oh, I didn't do this. I didn't do the trunk on that one. Why didn't y'all tell me? Oh. You're just gonna let me have a tree with no tree trunk? It's just floating there in the middle, just in the air. You can hear it's raining. Good morning. Okay, and I'm just gonna pop right on over here and do this one as well. If you followed me for a long time, I hate doing this. I don't like to have the thread go from place to place because sometimes you can see it through the fabric, and I do not like that. I have a dark fabric, and even my darker fabric, you can still see it. But just for time's sake, I'll do it like this. Yeah, you can see it over here too. Oh no, I've got to sneeze. Sorry. Can you imagine if I just sneezed in the microphone? Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're back to the same yellowish green that we used. Thank you. She said, bless you. The same yellowish color that we used for the very first tree. So I'm just going to grab that again. And for this one, we're going to do a little fly stitch. I love these fly stitches. I think they're so cute. We're going to start on the bottom and work our way up for each one. So again, all 6 strands, just tying a knot on mine. So for this one, you're going to go either up on the left or up on the right. It doesn't matter because you're going to go right back down on the other side. So you're going to go from point to point. Yeah, so here's where my needle is. Why'd you gotta get stuck? There we go. Yeah, and then down on the other side. And you're gonna leave this loop, and the loop is gonna be up this way. Okay? So you can come up through this here if you want. That's what I like to do because it's kind of makes that trunk stick where it is, makes it stay. You can go to the left or the right of it. It just might make your trunk a little bit like wobbly like that. So straight up through the middle like that. So it makes a little peak, and you're going to put your needle down on the other side of this yellow-green thread. So it's just a tiny, tiny little stitch. And again, I'm putting mine straight through the tree trunk like that. Now, obviously, it makes it kind of part a little bit. If you don't like that, you can do it on one side and the other side. So I'll show you how that looks as well. So you can come up on one side of the tree trunk like this and go down on the other side like this. So it'll be a little bit to the side, but your tree trunk won't be split. But again, it's completely up to you, whatever you like. And we continue that. Maybe I'll do mine every other one so that some are split and some are not split. I think there's supposed to be 3 left, but I think I might just do 2. Because I don't want it to be too crowded, you know? I'll do 2 more. I'll do the very last one right on the tip. And if you don't like the look of this, then that's fine as well. You could always do the brown on top of it after, but then you just won't see these little stitches there. So that's fine too. If you're like, ew, I don't like it, then it's okay. There we go. So all the trees are finished. The only thing we have to do left is the French knot snowflakes. So let me make this different at a different spot. And I'm not going to do the whole French knot spiel that I normally do, which we normally spend like a whole day on French knots. Not a whole day, but it's like French knot day. And then we do like a good 30 minutes of like teaching how to do them, showing the different sizes, etc., etc. But for this, really, you just need to know how to do the French knot. That's it. So here we go. Don't do what I did. I traced the pattern, then ironed because the fabric was creased. Goodbye, pattern. Oh my God, this made me laugh. I'm so sorry. That sounds like something that I would do. All right, let me take my sweater off real quick because you need to see both of my hands for this. And it's a black sweater, so it's got a bunch of Jessie hairs all over it. All right, so we're going to take, I have chosen just plain white thread for the little snowflakes. And we're going to make little French knots there. So take some thread. You don't want it to be like super, super long, okay? But make it a good length. And put a little knot on the end of your thread, just like always. Some people don't like to knot their thread at the very end. The end meaning there. They like to leave a tail hanging on the back and they just kind of hold it in place until they are finished stitching. But with French knots, you do need, my youngest boy is waving hello to the phone because he's watching too. Hi. But you do need a knot because this is what's going to catch it and keep it in its shape, okay? So what you're going to let's move this out of the way. There's 3 over here, so I can do those really easy. So what you're going to do is come up, and this one is all 6 strands and 2 wraps. You can try one if you are like, I don't know how to do this. I'm so nervous. It's okay. So you're going to hold your thread with your left hand like this and put your needle above the thread. Yeah, and you're going to wrap it 2 times. Keep it a little bit loose. It doesn't have to be like, oh, so tight. Keep it a little bit loose, and you're going to put it right back down, right next to where you came up. So this is what it should look like. And this is the most important part. You need to shimmy all of this thread that's wrapped on there down to your fabric. So you're going to pull it a little bit and shimmy it down. So this is what you should have. Okay? Don't let go of this thread. So if you have to pick up your hoop, this is where you can pick it up and keep your thumb on the thread. Because what's going to happen is all of this thread is going to go down through that hole. And you really don't want to have a knot on top of your French knot. So don't let it go until it's almost done and you're there. And we're going to do this for all of the dots. So let's see again. I'm still watching. It hasn't even been an hour. Oh, why are you the way you are? Huh? So again, I'll do it for left-handed people too, because I know some people are left-handed and they can't quite get the gist of it. So you're going to put your needle on the top and hold it with your left hand. This is for right-handed people. Wrap twice. Put it down right next to where you came up and shimmy the knot down. You have to do that. And then push it through, holding this. Hold that thread. Okay? So let's do it for left-handed people. So I've got my needle in my left hand. Go up. Come on, you can do it, Tori. Go up, pull it through. Hold the thread in your right hand and the needle above in your left. You're going to wrap it twice and put it right back down next to. Shimmy that down. So when you're shimmying it, you're not pulling it really tight, okay? You're just putting it down so it makes the knot shape and it's at the base of your needle touching the fabric. So hold it like this. Oh, 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 oh. Oh. Yeah, until it all goes through. There you go. So you're gonna do that for all of the knots. So you can do more knots, you can do less knots. Again, totally up to you. Because I have darker fabric and the thread is white, I really don't care about the zigzags, zigzag. If it was a darker thread and a lighter fabric, I 100% would cut this after every single knot and make a new one. Make a new knot and then make a French knot and then cut it, because you really don't want to see that doom, 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 doom all the way around. I was gonna change my, show you how it does it, but you can't see it through the light. That's got to be the most gorgeous, perfect French knot I've ever seen. Aw, thanks, Susanna. So this is what it looks like. And on the back, it looks like this. So what will happen is that if you've got dark thread and you're doing these French knots and you have a light fabric, then you can see this boom, 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 boom all the way through. And that just doesn't look nice. So that's just something to think about whilst you're doing your stitching. Now the other thing that can happen is that, oh, I can hear my stomach. The other thing that can happen is that as you're doing your French knots, I'll show you, your thread can start to get twisted like this, because basically you're wrapping your thread around, which is putting twists in your thread. So what you need to do is hold your needle like this. Obviously I can't do it with the hoop stand, because you need to hold your hoop up in the air so you can let your needle dangle. And what's going to happen is your needle's going to untwist. So you want it to untwist so it doesn't have those twists in your thread. And when you hold it like this, it shouldn't twist up. And that's when you can start. Start again. Was it 3 here? Yeah. I'll say it, I always say it, if you don't want to add these, then don't. No one's making you. This is your thing, I've made the pattern, but if you don't want to add a part of it, then just don't add a part of it. You're not going to hurt my feelings. If you want to use different stitches, use different stitches. Is this too far? I'll just do it anyways. Yeah, if you want to use different stitches, use different stitches. If you want to do something a little bit different, then do it. So if you want to use metallic shiny thread for this and not do French knots, instead you could do just little crosses. That could be cute. You could do little straight stitches if you want. That could also be cute. You can do more French knots, less French knots. You can do less strands and less wraps, meaning if you do 2 strands in 2 wraps or 2 strands in 1 wrap. I think I threw away my French knot sampler actually. Oh, why did you do that? Yeah, I did. But you can have all different size knots. Sparkling thread would look good, yep. So she's either talking about the metallic thread, which is the devil's butt floss, or she's talking about the étoile, which means star in French. Did you know that? Which looks like this. It's a little bit furry, if you know what I mean. And this right here is the regular metallic thread. And it's actually lots and lots and lots of little pieces of almost like a metal onto the, you can see them, little straight pieces. What is this? Getting it. I don't even know what this is advertising. But there's the 2 different kinds that you could use. This is quite fun because it's just a touch of sparkle, whereas this is like boom. So I know a lot of people will use just like 1 or 2 strands of this. When you unwrap it, it looks like this. Yeah, but actually it has way more than 6. So normally you have 6 strands in your embroidery floss, but this has way more than 6. See? So you can take like even 2 strands or 1 strand, and that would be a cute little sparkle to add. I know lots of very experienced stitchers who are like, nope, I ain't touching that. So don't feel bad if you're like, no, not for me. It's always nice to try though. So I think this is going to be the very last one. I will, because I only have 4 minutes left, which I can't show how to do the back in 4 minutes. But I might come back later so we don't have to spend the whole day tomorrow doing how to tie it up. Because it's already on YouTube, you know? So maybe I'll do a little bit of time for today, like at, I don't know. I could just come back on, couldn't I, right now? Why don't I do that? Why don't I come back on? I'll end the video now, but I'll come right back on a new live, and then I can finish the back, and then you can see how to do it, and it'll all be finished today, so you don't have to come back tomorrow. How about that? I think it's a good idea. Okay, so I will finish the French knots in the next video, and then show you the heat erasable pen. You probably won't be able to see it because of the color of the fabric. And then we can close up the hoop. How about that? So I'll see you in just 10 seconds. All right, bye.